up, you guys? Welcome back to my bookish world. I'm Alex, and Happy New Year. This is my first video that I'm posting all since in 2022, and it's gonna be my December wrap-up. But first, a few things. First, I want to say I'm very sorry for disappearing. I don't think I realized that last time I posted was Christmas Day, and that was a pre-filmed video, so, like, I haven't sat down to film in over a month. And I'd like to explain just a little bit. First of all, if you, like, behind me, my room's a mess, so is my life. My life's a mess right now, and part of that was because of work was super busy with the holidays and kind of winding down. And also, directly after Christmas, we started a sale for, I work at Barnes & Noble, so there was a 50% off all hardback sale, which was insane, and then we had a bunch going on. And then, you know, obviously the new year, and there was celebrating, and then I got COVID. So I was out sick for a week, did not feel like filming. I basically just laid in bed and watched YouTube for a week. And then coming back to work was a bit of an adjustment, and I was still kind of tired just because I had not been doing much. And so it's been a little bit, it's been because of that. It's also just because I'm adjusting, going back to life. I also might be starting an internship soon, so I'm going to have to balance that along with BookTube and my job and everything else. So we'll see. It's going to be a busy year, but I'm actually really excited just because. So yeah, let's talk about the books that I read in December. I only read 5 books. For whatever reason, I thought it was more. But I have only read 5 books. I will say I'm doing better this month. I've already finished 5. And it's not the end of January yet. I still have a few days. But yeah, let's get into it. So the first book I think I actually started in whatever month that was, November. And that was A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the prequel series to the Blood and Ash series. So this is book 1 in Flesh and Fire. And basically it follows the character named Seraphina, who is this, like, chosen one, kind of like Poppy at the beginning of from Blood and Ash. And she is chosen to please this god and help her kingdom. And so it follows that, and there is a lot of similarities to the story to Poppy's story, but I think it's interesting kind of seeing where Poppy's powers came from, but also seeing, you know, history repeats itself. So I ended up giving this a 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. She's a bit chunky, so it took me a while. And like I said, I was super busy towards the end of November into December. So I'm surprised I even finished this big of a book, but I did. So that's really exciting. And yeah, I give this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read, I actually was listening to on audiobook, and I also think I probably started this November, but that is Anyway the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. Okay, I don't know what that was. Basically, this is the 3rd book in the Simon Snow trilogy, the first one being Carry On, the second one being Wayward Son. And she also chunky. She's like 15 hours. But I listened to this as an audiobook because a lot of my shifts in December, I was working 7 a.m. shifts like twice a week. And so those shifts can get very boring when you're just there for 3 hours. Just you, maybe a manager, and another person in the store. So I would plug in my headphones while I shelved and listen. I believe I gave this one a 4 stars. It definitely wasn't my favorite, but I did like how it kind of dealt with relationships. Also, this is young adult. I was not expecting it to get a little spicy. Like, I won't say that it got super spicy because, you know, it's YA. But, like, it got a little spicy, and I just was not expecting that, but I gave it 4 stars just because I did enjoy it. It did take me forever to read, but I liked it, and so, yeah, I read this in December. I think I started in November and actually finished it in December, but, yeah. The next book that I finished was Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. I gave this one a 4.5 stars. This follows a character named Anna, who is going to this really fancy, like, marine life biology school. When something happens and basically she finds out that she is the descendant of somebody very famous that has to deal with the school, and it's based around 10,000 Leagues Under 12,000? I don't know. 12,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. It's based around that. And yeah, it's just really good. It is a standalone, but I definitely think it could be turned into a series if Rick Riordan ever decided to go that way. I really enjoyed it, and I was just so happy. Yes, this book is not a part of the Percy Jackson world like so many of his other books have been, but I don't know. This book just really did it for me. It was really good. So I'm really excited that I read this finally. The next book that I read was a book that I needed to read because, I just needed something to read. I didn't want to read something super huge. And so I just read this, like, on one of the last, I have, like, 2 days left of 2021. But I read Speak, the graphic novel, by Laurie Halse Anderson, and artwork by Emily Carroll. During our 50% off sale, I bought multiple books during our hardcover 50% off, which we'll see when I do my book haul, not next week, but the week after. But yeah, I did that, and then one day I was going to buy 3 when my shift ended, and it was this one and then 2 others, and my manager, who had kind of screwed the pooch on, like, a Secret Santa gift for me, was like, I'll just buy you them. So I'm really grateful. I got 3 books as a gift. But in this one, especially, has been one that I had been eyeing, and we had just gotten in recently, so I was super excited to get it. If you don't know, Speak is about this girl who is a freshman in high school. Her name is Belinda, and she was raped the summer before, but she has not told anybody, and she is dealing with the consequences of it, as well as all of her friends that hate her for reasons. They're kind of dumb reasons, but yeah. If you don't also know, Speak is one of my favorite books, like, of all time. I think I reread it at least once a year. And so rereading it as a graphic novel is really special because it really brings the artwork to life, or brings the story to life. And also, art is, like, really big in the book anyway, so I think it was really cool seeing it depicted in that way and using art. And I think it just made it that more powerful. So I think I just gave this a 5 stars because I love this book. And having the story here is so wonderful, and I definitely recommend it. And number 5, so I read 81 books this year, by the way, last year, which was pretty cool. But that is I'm Not Dying With You Tonight by Kimberly Jones and Jilly Siegel. I was also listening to this one as an audiobook. I listened to this one, and I believe, and Anyway, the Wimbledons as an audiobook during the month of December. I literally read, like, the last, like, 30 pages while we were watching a movie on New Year's Eve night because I wanted to finish this book. Like, I didn't want to go into 2022 still reading a book from the year before. Weird, yes, but I did that. So anyway, this follows 2 different girls, Lena and Campbell. And one is super popular. I think that's Lena's, the super popular one. And then there is Campbell, who is pretty new, doesn't really know the area really well. When there is something that happens at their high school football game, like somebody gets shot or a gun goes off and things start going crazy and there are riots. And they are very unlikely people. They are not friends. They don't know each other, but they end up having to work together just to get to be able to get home. And so through this story, we see, like, them trying to get home. Also, I got the super pretty edition where, like, under the dust jacket has this, and I got it for 50% off back in, like, September when Barnes & Noble did their, like, 50% off certain books, which was cool. But I really adored this book, and I definitely think that I will be picking up more by these two authors. I think they tend to write, like, dual timeline stories together, co-write dual timeline stories, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah. So I read 5 books in the month of, I think I gave this one a 4 point or like a 4-star. Yeah. So I read 5 books in the month of December. They were all really good, and I'm proud. And it's also really good to be back. Sorry, my dog is chewing on her bone. It's really good to be back, and I hope to be a little bit more consistent. I will say I think I'm going to try to film like 2 videos just to catch up, and then I'll probably be back to 1 video a week, but I am really excited to be back, and thank you guys for sticking with me. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!